For an ordinary person, sportsmen, personalities, travel is very essential for them. It gives them something to look forward to. It gives them a lot of mental freshness when you go on travel to a different location apart from your home country. But what if that same travel continues to bite back you? I mean, you look at the travel blues that some people are impacted with. Now, if the travel blues impact you and in 20-25 days, you have to travel a lot of countries, how will that impact your mind? So now, this is the same fate that the Sri Lankan cricket team is facing at this point in time. After their loss to South Africa, Sri Lanka's Mahesh Theekshana had really complained about the kind of travel that they have to do. And believe me, the travel for Sri Lanka, Pakistan and all the other teams is like chalk and cheese. Now, some teams, he didn't name them, are close to the hotel. For them, a bus travel from their hotel to the stadium is 100 minutes. Bus rides are supposed to be very cool and calming, right? Not in the case of the Sri Lankan team. Now, this is where when you look at the scheduling, the ICC really has to be unfair on certain teams if you look at it. But most of the fan bases will say, oh, how could you complain? That is the nature of the sport. But trust me, traveling thousands and thousands of miles is not cool at all. Look at the schedule that Sri Lanka are facing, and I'll tell you the exact point by point breaking as to how it's done. So if you look at Sri Lanka's travel itinerary, New York to Dallas, Dallas to Florida, Florida to St. Lucia, St. Lucia to Antigua, Antigua to St. Kitts. That itself comes to a total of 4,900 miles or 5,000 miles approximately. 5,000 miles, that's close to 8,000 kilometers. It's like they're traveling from their home to some other country just one way. But here there are multiple flights. New York to Dallas, Dallas to Florida, Florida to St. Lucia, St. Lucia to Antigua, Antigua to St. Kitts, 4,900 kilometers. You want to know which is the other team that is traveling the most? You guessed it. It is an Asian. It's Pakistan. Now, Pakistan were faced with a similar issue during the Asia Cup and they really suffered. From Lahore to Sri Lanka to back, they really had to traverse the Arabian Sea. This time, how much is Pakistan traveling? 4,500 miles, second behind only the Sri Lankans. Because this is Pakistan's distance. Dallas to New York, 1,600 miles. New York to Florida, Florida to Antigua, Antigua to Barbados. The lowest that they have is 310 miles, which is why 4,520 miles is what Pakistan are traveling. Now, what about India? India being the superpowers, they have to be in each and every location. And so, that is why if you look at it, let's look at India. New York, where they'll be beginning, they'll at least be playing 3 games in New York. Then they'll go to Florida. New York to Florida, Florida to Barbados, Barbados to Antigua, Antigua to St. Lucia. Total 3,450 miles. So that is actually lesser than Pakistan and Sri Lanka. A good 1,100 kilometers lesser. You want to look at all the other teams? West Indies, South Africa and New Zealand. Well, if you have to look at England, England travel the least with 420 miles approximately. That's England for you. Look at New Zealand, for example, 771 miles. Then South Africa, 2,055 miles if you look at it for just one trip. And then they continue on and on and on. Which is why New Zealand, West Indies, England, Australia and South Africa, only South Africa is slightly ahead with 2,700 miles approximately. But the rest of the teams don't travel much. Now, the fixtures are such. India's fixtures, for example, they are playing in Barbados, they are playing in St. Kitts and they are playing in St. Lucia. Now, from there, they will go to Providence, Guyana, if they make it to the semi-final. Now, many people were raising, I think the schedule is tweaked in India's favor. Looking at the travel, I honestly don't believe the schedule is tweaked in India's favor. So, 4,900 miles Sri Lanka are traveling. Do you think that their complaint is legitimate? Or do you think they don't have any platform where they can complain? You can write to us in the comments below. Thank you so much folks for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis. Bye-bye.